Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. A lot of you saw this particular video that went viral, I think over 4 days or 5 days ago. That this man over last weekend, when he was organizing his crusade, he cried out, "Oh, Fulani everywhere!" There was people were just fleeing and running here and there. In case you have not watched it, I just want you guys to have a clue of what I'm going to talk about.
We came for a crusade here, live in Africa, in Nasarawa State. And live as I'm talking to you, you can see up in the village because Fulani Herdsmen invaded someone that was coming back from the farm.
We came in for a crusade in this community today. Look at what it means.
As you can see, you can see the youth, everybody is on rest just for the sake of herdsmen right here in Nasarawa State.
Now, immediately he make this particular video, you might say, "Oh God, hey, like maybe Nigerian police will send GTF to go and sweep that area to make sure they secure the Christian and all of that." No, it didn't go that way. Immediately they saw that he created an awareness, they nab him, they arrest him, and they dump him in prison. I don't know if he's still in the detention, but as at the time of me making this particular video, they are still holding him captive, hostage, and kidnapping. Why? Because he cried, he complained. If you think I'm lying, I want you guys to watch this particular pastor. Just since this Christian genocide, this man have been voicing out. His lips is not also sealed.
I have just been rightly informed that Evangelist Ukpo have been arrested by the Nigerian police force because of the video he posted about the incident that happened in the community in Nasarawa State. In Nasarawa State, where he was holding a crusade, where he was part of a team in a crusade, and then the Fulani Herdsmen attacked that community. I've watched that video, I saw that video, and that video was real. It was legit. There was no photoshopping, there was no any kind of AI mixture. It was real. The situation was real. And the man only reported, the man of God only reported what was happening at that time. And because of this, the Nigerian police have arrested him. You see, we have become a useless society. This is why Donald Trump called us this is why Donald Trump called us a useless country. We are useless. This is what the Nigerian state has become. The bandits, terrorists, every day are on TikTok. They're on TikTok doing videos. They're on TikTok sharing money, doing giveaway. They're on TikTok giving update on their location, doing things as though they are free. These are people that are causing mayhem, that are causing destruction of lives and properties every single day, causing pain to family. But not one have you gone to arrest. You have not seen those ones. The DSS, the NIA have not been able to use their apparatus, their intelligence apparatus to get them arrested, to arrest them, to destroy them, to convict them, to put them in their custody, to bring justice to all the families that complain to. No. But once it is a Christian, that is where the whole of your manhood will rise. Because he's a Christian. We will not tolerate this. We demand the release of Evangelist Ukpo now. This injustice will not sustain. This injustice cannot be sustained. We demand the release of Evangelist Ukpo now. Please, every Nigerian, every man of God in this nation, I'm calling on you at this time. I'm calling on everyone at this time to rise up at this time. We cannot be silenced. We will not be silenced. You cannot be watching terrorists and bandits and criminals, people that are causing problems to Nigerians every single day, having a few days. They make calls, they are on TikTok, doing everything on social media. Not one of them have been arrested. But a man of God only gave an update on a situation where Fulani jihadists, Fulani terrorists attacked the community, and the man showed in the video, and you are quick to go and arrest him. We will not tolerate this. I call on every man of God, Inspector General of Police, we demand the release of Evangelist Ukpo now. The Director General, the Director of DSS, or all those security apparatus, we demand the release of Evangelist Ukpo now. What nonsense is this? How have we become such a lawless nation? How have we become such an unserious nation? How have we become a people that have no value, that celebrate mediocrity at every single instant? And people of what? People of value. That man of God, I watched his video where he has a free school for children in a village community. Not where you have not been able to see such a person to applaud them for their services to the nation and all their contribution to the society. No, the man has a free school. The man has a lot of activity that he does to support humanity and for the kingdom of God. But no, because he gave an update on an incident you went to arrest him. We will not tolerate this. We call on every man of God in this nation. We call on the fathers of faith, the PFN, the CAN, to rise up and speak now. Evangelist Daniel Ukpo must not sleep in that cell today. He has been arrested for the past 12 hours. He must not sleep in that cell today. We have become such a useless people. What nonsense are we doing in this nation? That we cannot speak anymore? You want to silence us? I call on every single agency that is responsible for this. Release Evangelist Daniel Ukpo now. Release him now. He must not sleep in that cell. The man must not sleep in that cell. Evangelist Daniel Ukpo must not sleep in that cell. President Tinubu, if you are seeing this, I know one way or the other this might get to you. Use your good office at this time to ensure that that man never see me. That how can you be negotiating with terrorists every single day, paying ransom, government paying ransom to them every single time, and innocent citizens that are paying tax, law-abiding citizens are being oppressed and suppressed as every single instance. We will not be such a people. Release Evangelist Daniel Ukpo now. He must not sleep in that.
You watch what he said. This particular pastor, this man, have been voicing out. This is not his first time. I've seen most of his clip when he condemned the Christian genocide. I never knew anything about him until this recent insecurity issues that happened and the genocide that is going on in Nigeria. As I seen his video clip, I have, I posted about 30 seconds of his clip before. And during this course of him talking about the arresting of Pastor Daniel Ukpo, I came across the full clip of the previous video that he did. And I said, okay, let me just also put it here so that you guys should know that these men have been talking, and those that are crying out against this insecurity are becoming the target. And I want you guys to watch this video.
Banditry started under the watch of APC because they were the ones that brought them in. It was 1992-93 in Kaduna. A riot broke out which they call the Zango Kataf riot. I was a young boy, very, very young then. And people were killed in scores. If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, they were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Kataf riot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo-owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riots, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riot? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zinc. They spot our zinc shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then. Even though my father was a Muslim then. But because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we're living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky-panky in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the Miss World crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody drew a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, states like Plateau State, states like Nasarawa, states like Taraba, states like Benue, states like Bauchi, states like Gombe, states like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks it is a total lie because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives. Even though we're Muslims, but we're still running because as far as you are not of that ethnic group, practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam. And it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kano State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about that he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi Lamido Sanusi was the one that led him up. And they beheaded him. They killed the Igbo man. They killed him and they put his hand on the stake and they were using it to parade the city. You will understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. An evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The world that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we're ignorant people, they'll control the narrative. And this days, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that thing from your mind. If Christians don't rise up, pray from now till tomorrow. God is not coming to fight for you. Are you with me? Now, in the year 2009, Boko Haram started. Boko Haram started because of a section. It was a political movement. They created Boko Haram as a political talks to bring confusion into the government of Goodluck Jonathan, and to be able to destroy any opposition, starting from Borno State, under the watch of a man called Kashim Shettima, which is now the vice president of Nigeria. Kashim Shettima and the other man, Ali Mohammed Sharif. These were the people that started the business of Boko Haram as a political talks to be able to oppose their opponents. But after a time, the ideology grew and they began to destroy. Now, it became a problem and they began to use it to destroy, bombing here and there. In 2009, 2010. As of 2010, a man led a meeting in Jos. Are you with me? He led a meeting that they were going to annihilate Christians within the locality of Plateau, Borno, Plateau, Bauchi, Kaduna, and Nasarawa. And he said they are going to perform jihad. They will bring jihad and they will go to kill that. If the Islamic leaders are not willing to lead them, he is ready to lead the movement. I have the minute of that meeting in my phone presently. Guess who is that person? Issa Pantami, that was the former minister of communication under Buhari's regime. And several times, these are people that are terrorist sympathizers. And that is why the Nigerian army have not been able to win the war against the terrorism. Because people the terrorists have infiltrated the Nigerian ranks, the army ranks, so they cannot win the war. That said, Osama bin Laden was a better Muslim than he is. He was sad when Osama bin Laden was killed. And he has said it several times that Boko Haram should not be killed. He said they are their Muslim brothers. How do you win a war against terrorism? When there are people high in government that are sympathizers to terrorism, how do you win that war? Now, there are 4 categories of insecurity or people that are causing insecurity. Number 1, you have Boko Haram. Number 2, you have bandits. Number 3, you have Fulani Herdsmen. Now I'm going to show you how they are connected. Many people don't know. The Boko Haram and the Fulani Herdsmen have one mission. The mission is simple: Islamize Nigeria. Come to a territory that are Christian dominated, kill everybody there, occupy their land. Go to Benue, look for a community, kill them there, occupy their land. That's always me. Boko Haram and the Fulani Herdsmen. Have you noticed that Fulani Herdsmen they don't kidnap, they kill? There's hardly a place you hear that Fulani Herdsmen capture that they say these are Fulani Herdsmen. No, when they go, they kill. How do they kill? They kill with guns. You must now ask yourself, how does a Fulani man get AK-47? Do you know the cost of one AK-47? One AK-47 is over $1,000 something. Where will a Fulani man be able to obtain to be able to get one AK-47? Are you with me? And now, so you will know that there are people that are sponsoring this movement. Then the Boko Haram and the Fulani, they go about Christian-dominated areas. You will understand that when this terrorism started in Nigeria, that only people that were killed were Christian churches. You will not hear that they kill anyone. It is Christians and churches. I remember in Kaduna then that churches began to look for security men to guide their churches in every service day. Otherwise, you can be in church and the next is boom, everybody dies. And churches that don't have money to hire soldiers began to use some of their members. I was a member of the security team in my church in Deeper Life in Kaduna in 2010. Because we don't stay in the church. Once I come to the church in the morning, we stay outside, moving around patrolling, because anybody can come and drop anything. So when Boko Haram started, the majority of Muslims, the Hausa, Northern Muslims, they were happy. I know of people that were celebrating it. If you see them crying today, I'll tell you why. At the initial beginning of this thing, they were happy celebrating the killings of Christians. They said they are purging Nigeria of Arne. It was majorly on Christians and Christian-dominated areas. But when it comes to 2014, the man Buhari and APC that wanted to overthrow the government of Jonathan, by all means, decided to employ mercenaries from Niger, from Chad, from all those Fulani, from other African nations where they're Fulani, and they brought them into Nigeria. What was the goal? The goal was that if Jonathan does not concede defeat in the election, they were going to rain hell on Nigeria. So they brought in these mercenaries, and they equipped them with rifles, the Aerofiles, the Buharis. Are you with me? The Aerofiles, the Buharis. Every one of these people called APC, they brought in mercenaries and armed them in the bushes and told them to wait. The moment Goodluck Jonathan did not concede defeat in the election, they were going to start. But unfortunately for them, Goodluck knew of the assignment. He got intel about it, and because the man said his ambition does not worth the blood of millions. So the man considered defeat and left. And so they declared APC winner. Now, you have already brought people from different parts to come and fight. But what they wanted to come and fight for did not achieve anymore. So now they left those people in the bush. They left them with guns and ammunition in the bush. And when Buhari became the president, he abandoned them. Instead of them to settle them and let them go back, they abandoned them. And the people saw Nigeria as a place that is good. And the people decided to remain in Nigeria. Those are the people that started bandits. Before, we don't have anything like bandits. Banditry started under the watch of APC, under Buhari, because they were the ones that brought them in. Kidnapping, because they needed to survive. So they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. And they started by kidnapping. Over time, now, you understand that there are certain parts of this nation where there are mineral resources. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Follow me. Don't be an ignorant Christian. Don't be in a nation where you don't have understanding of what is happening. Now, there are some parts of Nigeria where there are good resources. And so, and this is have been illegally mined by elites, the military generals, the oligarchs, the people that are the leadership of the North. They were mining these resources, and the money does not go into the federal government account. So what they do is that they employ the services of this banditry to create two things. Number one, to create diversion. So when you go to Zamfara, that's why you hear that they say that it's killing in Zamfara now. It's because of the Ilema gold mine. There is gold in Zamfara that they are mining. And so these bandits that are already in the bush, some people collaborate with them, partnered with them, and told them to see, keep creating confusion, create chaos. When you keep creating chaos, the Nigerian state and the people of Nigeria will not be able to focus on the illegal mining. They'll be concerned about the insecurity. So the insecurity is created as a means of diversion in the north. Are you following me? It is created as a means of diverting the attention of the military and the Nigerian populace from being able to focus on the illegal mining of resources. And any part of the north where there is resources, you find out that insecurity there. Recently, it has started in Kwara because there's a great amount of lithium in Kwara too that they have discovered and they're mining. So they partner with the Chinese because the people that does this illegal mining are the Chinese. They partner with the Chinese to be able to. So the bandits became the security men of Chinese and all those people to protect them. So that while they are mining, they can begin to cause chaos. Because while the people are mining and they are causing chaos, kidnapping, nobody will be able to focus on what the Chinese are doing and those people illegal mining. Every single day to this moment, I'm telling you, they are mining in those places. And they will take it to an airfield in the bush and fly it out of Nigeria. They are making billions of dollars from it every day. While people are being killed. That is why you now hear that Muslims are saying that they are killing Muslims too. What you have, it is what Buhari created. The APC led administration created. The banditry they created is what is affecting the North now. Because the people they brought to come and kill Nigeria in 2015 did not succeed because good luck relinquished power to them. And now the people have become thugs. They have become tools to be used in the hand of men that are using them to secure their illegal gold mines. And that's why you kill them. That's why you hear that they say they are killing Muslims. Now, the Christian persecution and genocide has been there. So you find that at the other part, the Muslim and the Fulani keep going around killing in all those parts. And the Christians and the churches have been silent for too long. This evil has prevailed in Nigeria because the righteous men have been too quiet. If we're ever going to win against insecurity in Nigeria, Nigeria must put two things Nigeria must do. Number one, Sharia law must be completely abolished in Nigeria. Because Nigeria is not an Islamic state. Why will Nigeria, some part of Nigeria, be practicing Sharia? The law guiding them in constitutional law that believe that if somebody deserves to die because he speaks against his God. Can an Hausa man insult Jesus and I kill him for insulting Jesus? But somebody believes when you speak against Muhammad, you deserve to die. How do you live in a country with somebody that has that kind of mentality? The military have become complicit. They are compromised. Nigerian military cannot win this war. 20 years from today, I'm telling you, 20 years from today, this thing of insecurity will not end because there are people that are enjoying it, benefiting from it, and reaping from it. If Nigeria wants to win this war, partner with America. Let them come and militate. I'm not sure I've seen that in Kano yesterday, some people were protesting that they don't want America to come. Because they believe what they have been told is that if America is coming to kill Muslims, and the man says he wants to come and kill terrorists, but they are protesting. Anybody that is negotiating, people like Ahmed Gumi, Sheikh Gumi should be locked away. A terrorist sympathizer is a terrorist. A man that believes that you are not supposed to kill a terrorist is himself a terrorist. A man that believes that we should go and negotiate. How do you go and negotiate with terrorists? Because you see, terrorists are not just criminals. They are working with the wrong ideology. A man that believes that killing is, he has nothing to lose. How do you negotiate with a man that believes that killing himself is going to meet their God in heaven to collect 72 virgins? How do you negotiate with such a person? A man like Sheikh Gumi should be locked away. A man like Ali Muhammad Bushari should be arrested. You want to win against terrorism, you must go brutal. No nation win against terrorism by pampering them. The custom is taking rice, seizing rice from Nigeria and taking it to terrorists in the bush that they need to take care of them because they are human beings. No. The moment you have become a terrorist, that you see that taking the life of your fellow human being is nothing, is to please a God. Then you
Anyway, I rest my case here. I love you guys. God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your love to us is to like this video, comment your thoughts about this video. Tell me in your own opinion, what do you think? Why is it that whenever they arrest Christian, whenever anybody cry out, they arrest that person, they persecute them? Maybe, I don't know, it might be false alarm that the guy created the tension. Maybe it was a lie. Maybe it's true, but the police know the best why they arrested him. But as at now, they have not released any public post to inform the public this is the reason and the cause they arrested him. So that is why we are also making this video to create an awareness that all the GOs, all the can association, this is the time that you people should be speaking, because you cannot arrest one imam. It's not done. I don't even know why. You can't even dare. Even if you do, anyway, peace out.